I'm Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times on Friday, March 4th, with news from Arkansas and around the planet. Do the people of the United States really favor government that works? Some evidence today suggests maybe a lot of them do. Public policy polling is releasing results from a number of polls taken around the country that show a solid majority of American voters believe that the Congress should take up this year President Obama's nomination for a seat on the Supreme Court to replace the late Antonin Scalia. Republicans, of course, have vowed not to even allow this matter to come to a vote in the Senate. Americans say that his nomination should get a hearing. Wait and see who it is at least before they make a decision not to do it. This has an Arkansas angle because Connor Eldridge, a Democratic candidate challenging John Bozeman, has said that the nomination process should go forward. Bozeman says, along with Tom Cotton, that they don't intend to let that happen. What the public policy polling polls have found in 4 key states, Arizona, North Carolina, Iowa, and Missouri, are that incumbent Republican senators are viewed with great disfavor by voters precisely because they want to blockade the nomination process. This is about a government in Arkansas and Washington that simply doesn't work anymore. Eldridge is emphasizing that in his campaign. Are Arkansas voters like voters elsewhere in the country on this issue? We'll see, perhaps, if Eldridge's argument gains any traction. The big news today is rehash of last night's Republican presidential debate. It was called by me and many others something akin to TV wrestling. Even though Hulk Hogan was not there, Donald Trump was. I think we saw a presidential first last night, a presidential candidate and the front runner at that, Donald Trump, making a reference to penis size. That about wraps it all up for that, but on a more serious note, the candidates said they favored discriminating against people on the grounds of sexual orientation, denying them services and business because of who they are. This comes as the Arkansas blog linked to a story on StoryCorps about a couple in Eureka Springs, now married, who lived 13 years in the closet in Fayetteville because of fears that homophobia would cost them a job. Apparently, with the leading National Republican Party candidates, that kind of discrimination is still okay. State Auditor Andrea Lea is in the news, and not for a good reason. She had a good start as state auditor and made some good changes in the operation of that office, but she chose a law firm to pursue a potentially very lucrative case for the state on the basis of a recommendation of a campaign contributor. That's not particularly a good practice, but it's business as usual in politics. But she also made the mistake of telling office members to do their communicating with her on private email, apparently under the belief that this would keep that stuff secret. Freedom of Information Act applies to all official communication, no matter what email account you use, of course. And she also didn't tell the truth to the Democrat Gazette when it asked her about this in the first place. She now says, gee, she's really sorry that somebody has shown that she was caught telling what appears to be a lie. Certainly it wasn't correct. Dickey, the former Republican congressman from Arkansas, was on the Daily Show last night and featured in a very good light, unusual for Dickey. He was an NRA backer, a gun rights guy, but he's recognized the error of his ways and fighting for legislation that has prevented government research of ways to curb gun violence, perhaps, for example, through safer guns. He's for that now and is featured on the Daily Show for a good reason for being in that camp now. Little Rock museums have some new things planned. The Museum of Discovery is going to open a new permanent exhibit this weekend. It's creating art with LED light displays. Sounds like lots of fun for kids. A week from now, the Clinton Presidential Center is going to open a new temporary exhibit on the Olympic Games. It features American athletes in the Summer and Winter Olympics, including some memorabilia from Clyde Scott, the famous former Olympian from Arkansas. And a warning to those who come to downtown Little Rock this weekend, streets are already disrupted by plans for the Little Rock Marathon, which is going to be Sunday morning in Little Rock. Looks like they might have good weather for that. That's it for me today. See you next week.
You feel it in your heart. The spirit of Little Rock. We've had that spirit since 1927, helping build our city by producing decades of leaders in the heart of our state. We are the heart of business and innovation, the heart of politics and government, the heart of arts and culture, and in our city beats the heart of a Trojan. UALR, we are Little Rock's team and Little Rock's University.